Hello everyone, and welcome once again to the Heir's Lair. I'm your host, Jonathan Taylor. Today's video will serve more or less as a follow-up to last week's video when I interviewed Diane Billis about her process, about how she gets her ideas, etc. Now, with that interview out of the way, it's time I've taken a glance at her sophomore work, namely the YA superhero LGBTQ plus novel known as, come on, Superficial. I typically only mention this at the end of my videos, but I have a second channel, which you'll see linked in the iCard over there, where I talk with some level of frequency about superhero fiction, because I have a vested interest within this genre, not just for its entertainment value, but also for how for how to integrate various messages within it and use it as a larger storytelling vehicle. When compared to that particular framework, how well does Superficial fare? Well, the TLDW for this review is, I can't necessarily say that this book compels me. I actually think the plotting of the book is done quite well, and the actual social messaging and commentary that it is going on is actually on point. However, the choice of genre seems to be more incidental rather than deliberate, as the book seems more focused on trying to deliver a message of personal growth rather than utilizing the maybe not necessarily the trappings, but the features and the and the particularities of superhero fiction in order to really convey its message. So if you're going into this book from a superhero fandom perspective, you might find yourself disappointed. But if you're looking at it through as a new lens for coming of age narratives, it might just be something you'll be interested in reading. That being said, I do have to issue a content warning for memory manipulation and gaslighting, because yeah, those show up within this book. So if you'd rather read something that doesn't include those, you're better off avoiding this. Anyway, with the general information out of the way, it's time I delve a little bit into the specifics. No spoilers though. The plot of the book follows Leia, a high school graduate and history enthusiast, as well as Jake, better known in universe by his superhero alter ego, the Amazing Boy. The two of them meet at a superhero convention, and due to a unique set of circumstances, are the only people at the entire convention who do not find themselves afflicted by something that literally freezes every other convention goer and attendant in place. Once the two realize what their the peculiarities of their condition, they go on a on a quest, a mission, an adventure, aiming at finding out who the guilty party is and to prevent whatever machinations they have set in motion. While this book is supposedly built around an emergency, the actual urgency and tension of this, this more action-centric plotline tends to take more of a back seat to the more interpersonal drama that connects Leia and Jake, as the book explores them deconstructing their trauma and learning from each other as to how to more effectively discover and utilize their abilities. all the while bonding in the supposed rush of the moment as they try to uncover the mystery. To be fair to Billis, the actual mystery that that the superhero action plot is built around is is constructed quite well, and manages to utilize the various elements of the setting, which happens to be the city of Philadelphia, in a very effective, if perhaps not particularly deep, manner. And in fact, I'm pretty sure that if most other authors would be given a story with these plot beats, they could create a very intense and very involving cat and mouse chase throughout the entire endeavor. If that is the case with everyone else, or with most other people, why isn't it the case with Billis? Well, well, it took me a while to figure out a reason for this, but I think I've been able to piece it together, and it all stems from one particular thing that the beginning of this book is more or less built around. That is the question of whether or not superheroes are real in universe. Yeah, I know that sounds kind of like it would be a a weird question to bring up, but that is very much a mystery that the author has tried to establish within the story in and of itself, whether or not superheroes are real, or whether their exploits aren't in fact very effectively and very elaborately staged. Um, I I think she didn't know in the beginning whether one or the other would be the case, and once she actually found her answer, she thought she would leave the ambiguity in place as another obstacle for these two characters to overcome if they are to effectively work together. And I have to say that uh, mystery is, in the perhaps most obvious manner possible, solved around at the end of the first third. However, I don't really think that the resolution of the uh, uh, of that mystery really aids in the further narrative development of this book. It really comes across as though this mystery was supposed to be the keystone to the entire setting, something that really helps anchor everything in place, and would therefore allow the two main plot lines of this book, the internal one about the characters overcoming their trauma and learning to more effectively utilize their strengths, and the external plot line of them actually confronting the villains of the piece. I think this was supposed to be the keystone that marred both. However, because that mystery of whether superheroes are real, but because the reveal of the actual answer ends up being underwhelming, that keystone effectively ceases to function within the narrative. So instead of these two plot lines running in parallel and providing each other the support and the grounding that they need in order to become fully realized, it instead seems as though the narrative just kind of slots between, goes from one to the other, as insofar as the author deems it to be necessary, and that necessity isn't always effectively communicated. They might be able to communicate it to the audience. They might understand it on a cognitive level, that this is what's supposed to happen to get the plot going, but they don't see it as this is what this is what effectively brings the characters forward. So there is that level of investment is unfortunately missing because that keystone isn't there. I think it could have been replaced with something else that would that could in fact provide that backing. Maybe something akin to in-universe lore or mythos, or or any other kind of explanation that would help bring everything better together. But unfortunately, that is not what unfortunately not what this offer chose. So instead, we get free basically free floating plot lines. Overall, this book's solid plot work and admittedly pretty strong pretty strong character focus is ultimately undermined by the author's reluctance to to more effectively delve into the narrative conventions of this genre within which she has dived into. My final rating for Superficial is a 3 out of 5. And that was my review. Thank you for your attention. If you enjoyed it, well then please like the video, maybe even share it wherever you think other people will also like the video. If there is anything you'd like to add, either to the book itself or to my review of it, that is what the comment section is for. And if you want to see when my next video gets released, well then please subscribe. And ideally also ring the bell or do whatever else YouTube will ask of you in order to keep you notified. My books, the first of my own Heir to the Empire series, The Next Generation of the Path Not Taken, are available at various book retailers under their respective links in the description down below, right past my social media links, which I'll suggest you check out should you choose to. Additionally, you have the option of supporting me on Patreon, where depending on the level at which you pledge, you will receive various perks, the specifics of which I will allow you to discover for yourselves. I also, as I've already mentioned, have a second channel where I occasionally talk about superhero fiction, but I also talk about other forms and realizations of media, typically not related to books or literature. So if that interests you, then you can go ahead and check it out. If you want to hear more about my thoughts on books and literature, then you can stay on this channel and go through my extensive backlog of book reviews, writing advice, and lore videos. If none of those interest you, then I suggest you go ahead and do whatever you want with the rest of your day, because it is your day after all. Until next time, I am Jonathan Taylor, and this has been The Heir's Lair.